So, so it's Matas Maseh, and that's the end of Sefer Bamidbar. And I couldn't help but bring it in, the Gemara. It's I never knew the Gemara. I never learned Kiddushin fully. Well, Maisa, this is a Pellet Gemara. I heard a shir this week from the Rebbe, from Rav Leuchter. The end of the first parak in Kiddushin, Rosh Dvorcha Emes, Soif Dvorcha Emes. Very interesting sugya over here, by the way. We're not going to get into it. But Rosh Dvorcha Emes, frag the Gemara, Rosh Dvorcha Emes, Soif Dvorcha Ein Emes. No, Elos Misoif Dvorcha, Rosh Dvorcha Emes. From Soif Dvorcha, I know that Rosh Dvorcha is Emes. I know you don't know what I'm talking about. It doesn't make a difference. But Rosh Dvorcha is I'm just using it as a mashal to our sugya that we've been working on for a good few weeks. Rosh Dvarcha we saw was the beginning of Sefer Bamidbar, where the Ramban says it's the Sefer of Hashgacha Pratis. We tried to work on Hashgacha Pratis. Soif Dvarcha Emes. I think that the Soif Dvarcha Matas Maseh is quickly just scanning through the parasha. This is like it, I mean, you don't get more in the kishkas than Matas Maseh. I mean, the details that are going on in Matas Maseh, Beinish leishtoi, Av lebitoi, the Nidorim to the Nikmas Midyan and the Sholol, everything, and then Maseh, all the Masois. This is like, that's what the lashon of the Ramban was in the beginning. Lahafli, it's lahafli. So I would like to, continue or finish off, a dakustika thing in this Ramban of Hashgacha Pratis. We saw the Ramban inside, the Ramban in Boy. We saw the Ramban, that the Ramban is a different sugya than we thought, not lav dafka a sugya of the Bria and Yet Teva, No Teva, Ella, that the Nisim Hagdoilim B'shas Yetzias Mitzrayim were meant to educate us. The Rabbeinu Shalom was getting involved in the world to educate the world with the three mistakes that they made, and the Chain, the Nisim Ha Nistorim, are doing the same thing on a quieter scale. Nisim Nistorim, and the lashon of the Ramban is just that. I want to talk about the 3 weeks, but this lashon of the Ramban just, listen, Baruch Hashem, it got stuck with me. We've been talking about it for a good few weeks. And I want to stick with it. And I want to show you that what I want to tell you in the 3 weeks is gufa, the hamchosha of that concept I want to bring out. It's not my chiddush, but you'll see it. It's coming to life even with our own limud together. What we have been working on for the last few weeks. It's choiz v'neir. Chazor Allah, v'asmadabo. The kids of the lashon was that min anisim agdolim and futam other moide b'nisim shehem yesoid Torah kula. The Ramban is saying that this concept of the nisim and nistorim, these messages, the involvement, the constant involvement the Rebbeinu Shalom has with us as a klal, as yechidim, is Yesod Kol Torah Kula. The whole Torah is based on this concept that the Rebbeinu Shalom is in the picture, Aleph, and also communicating, educating. Okay. So it is the 3 weeks. We're 2 weeks away from Tisha B'Av. The 3 weeks, by the way, the whole thing, it was very funny. Like I was trying to see on Shiva Asar B'Tammuz, if anybody says anything on Shiva Asar B'Tammuz, there's a lot to say in Shiva Asar B'Tammuz. 5 things happen and all that kind of thing. But a lot of the drushas are based on Tisha B'Av. They're based around Tisha B'Av. 3 weeks is a shmuz of Tisha B'Av, be'etzem. That's what it is. It is the beginning of the destruction. It's a hachana for the Yom of Tisha B'Av. We have to be meichen for Tisha B'Av because Tisha B'Av is a very strange day. It's very strange. In our Jewish calendar, it's a very strange day. Just agav, I forgot to say this originally, I'm not telling you anything, new. we were Zoicha this week. Mamish this week. I'm sorry I wasn't Mudiyah because I didn't know myself. I literally found out an hour before he spoke. But Rav Leuchter was in Lakewood. He left this morning, but he was in Lakewood this week, and he gave a drasha on the 3 weeks in Lakewood, in Lutsk. What was it? I don't remember what night it was. It was 2 nights ago, 3 nights ago, 2 nights ago, something like this. And Baruch Hashem, I recorded it. It's on Torah Anytime. Even on my extension, I plagiarized him a little bit, so to make it easier for the Olam. You could listen to it. You should listen to it. But it is a long shir, so make the time. You saw this. I'm going to try to be mekatzer. Basically, the main point, what I think, he was trying to say, which gives us something to think about. Let me tell you the kashas. The problems are very real problems. Okay, let's think for a second. What is the mitzvah sayyim of Tisha B'Av? Right? Every holiday we have, there's a mitzvah sayyim. Okay, there is a mitzvah sayyim. We spoke once that Shavuos might not have a mitzvah sayyim. Okay, we had a whole shtickle Torah on that, but normal, all the Yomim Tovim by us have a mitzvah sayyim. Sukkah, it's Daled Minim, matzahs by Pesach. Okay, we have a way of connecting to the Yom Tov through a mitzvah. Okay, we live the mitzvah, we relive that thing through the actions of the mitzvah. What is there b'chalal a mitzvah or something that we can hold on to on Tisha B'Av? So there's really nothing. There is really nothing. There's one thing that we do on Tisha B'Av, but it makes things worse, and I'll explain. This is like a paradox. Okay, we sit on the floor. It's mamish, dinei avelis. We sit on the floor, but we also know that you're not allowed to sit on the floor for a shmur rechoika. Okay, something that's far out, it's not a close relative. You don't sit on the floor. Okay, we are sitting on the floor. It can't be because it's a stira to the whole concept of avelis that sitting on the floor will be me'oirer the avelis. That can't be the pshat. Are you following that? Right? Because by all the other Yomim Tovim, we eat matzah to be me'oirer the nama de memnusa, the sukkah, the daled minim, gets you into the whole matzav. Sitting on the floor is not getting you into any matzav. It can't be that is the mahalach. Because that's a shmur rechoika minei way. I'm trying to connect to something by sitting on the floor that you lost it. It's not there. Okay, right? Simple. That's not a hard thing to understand. It can't be that sitting on the floor is supposed to bring you to thoughts of the thing. Yeah? And then Stam say, what is the etzem avelis? We know the famous Ma'amar Chazal, Kol Masabel al Yerushalayim, Zoicha V'roya. So what's pshat in that? Everybody says pshat in that. Okay. But an avelus means I lost something. That means you had it. Right? We have it, and then we lost it. So now you could say we had it, a mole, right? But Jews, we don't do things like that. No, we have a Geulas Mitzrayim now. We're not commemorating Geulas Mitzrayim 2,000 years, 3,000, whatever it is, however many thousand years ago. It's now. It's a real thing. So we have to figure out where is this avelus happening that we are responding. Meaning like this. Let's be very yeshivish over here. Sitting on the floor on Tisha B'Av, is it a siman or a siba? Right? Is it what creates the avelus? Or is it a siman that you are avelus? You lost something and you are down on the ground. How do we have to realize that we lost something. And the reason why this is hard for us to understand is a critique on us, because we're doing something wrong. We are doing something wrong. We're missing something in our avodas Hashem. This is the psicha, okay? What is this thing that we are missing? This is the suggestion, a suggestion from the Mashgiach, and he doesn't have it arois klor. He said it berabim. I believe him that he's not coming to answer up any kashas. He's trying to work this out. We have to work this out. That's why we have 3 weeks. Okay, we have to try to work this out. It's a little bit of a problem. He wants to say that all of our avodas Hashem, be it kiyum mitzvahs, be it bein adam lachaveroi, be it bein adam lamakim, okay? It's based around one central nukuda, which we can forget about very easily with the way we deal with our kiyum mitzvahs, okay? And that is that Torah, avodah, gemilas chasadim, yeah, all those three things are something, they are abstract. They are abstract. They are outside of our scope of understanding, be'etzem. The Rebbeinu Shalom is outside of our scope of understanding. The concept of Shechina is I don't know where this Chazal is, but I heard him quote it, and it's a fascinating idea. Lo'olam lo yarda Shechina l'toich, yosim asora. Shechina never came down lemata me'asora. Never came down lemata me'asora. That means lemata me'asora means a rishus hayochid. Yeah, never came down there. So we know Shechina exists. We had a Beis Hamikdash, and we know it exists. But it is something that is outside of our realm of understanding. Okay? And we have to realize that our involvement in Torah has this ingredient in it, in all aspects of Torah. Torah, avodah, and gemilas chasadim. If it's tefillah, if it's learning, if it's bein adam lachaver, bein adam lamakim, there's this concept of this subtle thing, very similar to this Ramban. This whole thing, this whole concept of Hashgacha Pratis is subtlety. Subtle things that people don't see. I'm learning, Pirkei Avos with the Olam, yeah, with Hachzek, okay? So one of the Mishnahs there, I always had a problem with this Mishnah. Learn Torah, ask in atzmecha lilmod Torah, v'da ma shetoshev la'apikaris. You always have to know ma shetoshev la'apikaris. Why is Apikaris always, he's always cheppering us? Why? What does he want from us? What does the Apikaris want from a Yid? Go ask, those basketball players why they're throwing a ball in a basket that has a hole in it. This is a stupid thing to do. Go ask them questions. Why are you asking us questions? Why are they hacking us a chinik? You know why? Because to the naked eye, and we have to realize that about ourselves, to the naked eye, we are very weird people. We are dealing with something completely abstract. What are you doing? Why are you acting this way? Why do you, walk around with a suit and this and a hat and a tie? It's 1,000,000 degrees outside. What are you doing? People think we are crazy. We are abstract people. Our kiyum mitzvahs are abstract. And the Apikaris goes crazy from that. It's not realistic. So we have to know Ma'ashetoshev Apikaris, the whole shtickle Torah on that. But that's not my Indian right now. But you have to realize that our involvement with the Rebbeinu Shalom is an abstract thing. And I'm coming to be lafuke, obedience. Judaism is not about obedience. Just, I do what I have to do, and that's it, right? I have a Shulchan Aruch. We're not against Shulchan Aruch, trust me. But we have our rule book, and we have to know what we have to do, and we do the Kiyum mitzvah, and that's it, right? But that's not only it. The Nefesh HaChaim says it, right? Rav Leuchter says the Nefesh HaChaim was a big Litvak. He thinks he was a Litvak. And the Nefesh HaChaim says, part and parcel of all the mitzvahs, the soif pasuk of all of our avodas Hashem, including the mitzvahs that we do, which we are doing them lahalacha till the T, part of that, and the goal, Rav Leuchter doesn't like that word, but the end point is that Shechina should come down to the world. What is this Shechina business? Shechina is something abstract. We need to bring that into the world. We need to live this experience. We need to be able to realize that our kiyum mitzvahs are actually bringing the Rebbeinu Shalom close, bringing the Shechina back into the world. So now, this sounds very aloof, very abstract, and it is, and that is the pshat. It is abstract. So how do we have to do that? And look at the revach. If we train ourselves, if we are able to get this dynamic into our brains where we are serving Hashem, I am driving down the road, and I can be dafuk in HaKadosh Baruch Hu because I'm working on my midas, my midas hakas or my midas hasavlan, whatever it is, and like I'm taking mundane things and giving them a chalois of kedusha. I'm bringing Shekhinah into the world. Having this concept in our mind, circling it around in our mind, gives it a reality, gives it a realism. When you do your mitzvahs like that, you realize, okay, that you are heavily involved in this concept called Shekhinah. And now comes Tisha B'Av. You sit on the floor because you know that it was much better. You have it. You are dealing with that thing, but it is on a very low scale. But if we are b'chalal not being misyaches to it at all, we are just simply obedient and just doing our mitzvahs as a checklist. So we have mamish have no shaykhis to the concept of the Shekhinah begalusa, and we can't sit on the floor like that. It's not a real thing by us. In order for this sitting on the floor, which is what we're doing right now, we are preparing for that mitzvah hayoim. That mitzvah hayoim is to sit on the floor. To connect with that asiyah, we have to realize that our day-to-day yom kiyum mitzvahs, our life involves this dynamic of bringing something outside of us into this world. Being mamchish a davar ruchni in our simple life. That's why we have Taryag mitzvahs. That's what it's all about. Our shleimus comes from outside of us. Okay? It's late. We went